the Alexa app to submit feedback.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Hi, chickies. It is the last episode of season 1 of the Chicken Sisters. And I love that we finally got to know how they got the name, the Chicken Sisters, which is really cute. I can't believe it's over. It's really good. I can't say it enough before I start talking. I think Hallmark might be allowing episodes 1 through 6 for free. Um, I access mine through Prime, and that's how I get my Hallmark Plus. But I forgot, wasn't paying attention. Just talked into my smartphone, not my smartphone, my smart TV, and 6 episodes came up, and they said for free. And I'm like, where's the rest of mine? I realized I was in the wrong thing. So if you have friends that are still wondering, I think that maybe we can get some of the episodes even for a limited time. I could be giving out the wrong information. I don't know, but that's what happened to me today. But anyway, hi Jennifer and hi Carrie and hi Rona and Avis. And Rona says hello. No baseball game tonight, and I'm driving the new Hallmark. Oh, you're DVRing the new Hallmark Christmas movie, so I'm here. Me too. I went and did that. Was number. This is the number 3, but it's number 6 for Hallmark, right? I'm loving all of them. Even the ones that are my least favorite are still pretty good. So anyway, there's a lot that went on. Oh my gosh. So the first thing is that we always knew that Gus was sick, right? But we weren't quite sure what they were going to make it, and they're making it MS, which is kind of like interesting because they can have flare ups for her, and then they can also make her have, remission. So it's not like it's this death sentence that should be happening, soon kind of thing, which is, I don't want to say nice, but if we're going to give her an illness, it's nice, right? And I loved how when the girls found out, they're like, a year. And he's like, the doctor's like, I've been treating her for a year. And then when yeah, she has to be in a wheelchair now. But Avis, not all of the time. If you noticed towards the end of the episode, she wasn't. I think it was just immediately after, when she didn't want to stay in the hospital and recoup. He said, we can compromise, you have to be in a wheelchair. But I guess days had gone by and weeks, and she was walking around again. But getting back to when the doctor was talking to the girls, and then Amanda calls Nancy. I love their relationship. I just love how much they love each other. And she tells Nancy, and Nancy is like, oh, they're not having an affair. And she's like, no, Amanda. And, Nancy kind of feels a little sheepish for feeling the way or thinking that. They're very gossipy in that little town, right? But I guess like all towns are gossipy. Something I thought of right away, and you tell me if you guess this. I was like, where in the world is Gus going to live? And I love how all the people in the town are like, it was like a lightning strike. And the sheriff is like, I didn't see any lightning, but then he gets it and they convince, so Gus doesn't get in trouble, because that was one of my questions. But as soon as I saw Nancy taking out the trash, which was kind of like taking her husband out, and she was cleaning out that room, I was like, I bet you, because Nancy has a very good heart, I bet you she is going to invite Gus to live with her. And when she does, I love what she says to her when she says, you need to come home to a cooked meal. You can't be living at the hotel. Come home to a cooked meal, and to someone to talk to about your day. And she kind of looks around and she's like, I've never had that, which is kind of sad. And Nancy's like, well, that's why you need it. And that's kind of cool. And I notice that as often women outlive their husbands or their significant others, and which is sad when they get older, and they find themselves like with their BFF. And of course, they were good friends years and years ago, but not anymore. And then you wind up sort of like being each other's, not companion, but each other's rock. And I think that's nice. And I like where that storyline can go, because I think they would be like the odd couple, like one might be very neat. We know that's Nancy, and the other one would not be so neat, which is Gus, and one's all crotchety and one is pie in the sky. So it's um going to make for good storylines. Yes. Yes, Avis, they all defended Gus. And yes, she did. She did have a cane in her hand at the end. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So there was a lot of heartwarming things and there was some mystery. Can we just dive into who's the father? Did I not understand something? Because I kept going back. Who is the father of Mimi's baby? And who is the baby? Like, is that to come? I want to show you a couple of things that I noticed, clues. Okay, so the father of Mimi's baby, he didn't, when he was writing the letter to her, he said he was working on his career and that was extremely important to him. So I'm like, is he a lawman or is he going to be someone, in the government? What is he going to be? And this is his little tie with his little pearl. So it looks like, he's a sharp dresser and maybe has money. What do you think? Um Yes, stuff for season 2, Rona. And then these are just some of it made me think of when I would analyze Lucas Bouchard's office. Oh my God, when they put that up and we could just like pick apart the stuff. I had so much fun with that. But so he has this eagle here, and I don't know, it looks like a stately office. Not sure exactly what it means or stands for. Here's more of it. This is him. He has no ring on his finger, which doesn't mean anything. I was just trying to look around to see, got the hourglass. He's writing this letter with the pen and then he seals it. But what I found to be kind of interesting is when this is the seal, because when Frankie has it in her hand and she reads the letter and they find out, oh, it is true after all, Mimi was telling the truth. And Nancy said, well, Franny girl would need proof where Gus said she didn't need any, she knew. Look at the stamp. That was the stamp and the seal. What does that mean? Like what exactly? Not the chicken sister. That was, the name of it's the name of the show. So what do you think? I know you're saying all stuff for next year, but what do you think is this a hint to? Like, I'm curious. I'm really curious who this could possibly be. And then she has the baby. She doesn't keep the baby. And she because she wouldn't have someone to help her take care of it and uses the money to open up her own restaurant. But I'm also wondering, where's that baby? Is that baby in town going to show back up? Where's that going to come from? Hope nobody falls in love with the baby and doesn't know. Is it a boy or girl? I forget. Why do I get the sense that it's a boy? Mimi said the baby's father was a stranger and she gave the baby away and then started her chicken business. Wonder who adopted the baby. Actually, Mimi said that it was just some stranger, but that's not true. It wasn't. It was somebody that she knew well. It wasn't like it was a one night stand kind of thing. And yes, I wonder who the baby went and got adopted to also. I think she was saying that because the man is well known. And that's why that's why when we see him writing the letter, it surprises me. And I don't know. I'm just like curious as to, do you think, I don't know why I get this feeling, but do you think it's somehow connected to the preacher? I don't know. There's just something weird about that. But all the women have like a back of of mystery. Did you catch the at the end? She told Franny that Sherman was not the father. Yes, Avis, we know. Yep, she did. Even, and that's another thing. Let's talk about that instead of the mystery that I was going to get to with Gus. She did. She told her, and Franny just wouldn't believe her. And I was like, the men in that family, what are they? The Hillard men. And not until we get to the end when Amanda says what she says, I was thinking the whole time, why are these men so weird? Like Franny Sherman, Franny's husband, or why he would want her to think that he had an affair with her when he never did. And then the same with Nancy's husband. He wanted, Nancy to think that he had a fling with Gus when she never did. And I'm thinking, why? That's so weird. And then at the end, when Frank is behaving the way he is, and Amanda gets it, she's like, they wanted to control them and make them their whole world so that they didn't have a good friend, kind of isolated them. And that's exactly what the men did. And then I was like, is that the only reason? That was weird to me. I don't know. I thought those men were strange, strange breed of men. And I like also one of the big surprises that came out of that for me. There were quite a few surprises. If you want to share what your surprises were, was the idea of Shauna having all that money and she's able to invest in the girls, and they're going to name the business the Chicken Sisters, which I think is great. And the other thing that surprised me was what was the Sabrina quitting. I love that, and I love how she quit, because that's not what happened in the book. I love it. I love it. You love Shauna Avis. I know, she's a riot. And guess what, she had a cool outfit on. I loved that, the yellow pants with the top without the jacket. You saw that it was sort of like a bell sleeve at the bottom. She looked sharp. I was like, she is the sharpest clothes, and I guess it's because she's from New York. She had the best wardrobe in this series. Another thing that I loved and surprised me is when Amanda, when she was really figuring out who her husband is and what he is, when she told him that he had to get out. I loved it, that he had to move out of the house. They bought it together, but she's who made it a home. And I thought, yeah. So that was a surprise for me. She throws out her husband. A surprise for me too was Shauna coming up with the cash. I loved it. I loved that. And I did get some confirmations from what we've been suspecting all along. So Frankie has a crush, right? Frankie has a crush, and she finally knows what it felt like for her heart to be broken, and she used that in her audition, and rooting her on was her mom and her friend. And I don't think her do you think her friend, what is her name? What is Sabrina's daughter's name? I forgot. Do you think that do you think she knows deep in her heart that Frankie feels for her more than friendship? Or is she just so caught up in her own life and trying to deal with stuff, even though she's becoming a good friend to her, that she doesn't realize it? I don't know. I found that interesting. And the other confirmation, which I love, Lindsay, thank you, Avis. The other confirmation, which I loved, which I can't help it, this is so intriguing to me, was at the very end when Nancy was going to bingo. Remember, I said Nancy needs to go to church? Well, she was taking church to bingo. She was going out with Pastor McGregor. And I love that Gus has her cane and she's like, have her back by 10. And she's like, we're just going to bingo. And he looked all cute with the haircut, and off they go. Do you think that's like a romance they're going to continue in the next season? I don't know, but I just love it. I love those two together. I love the way he has this smirk, and I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's just Matthew, but he has this smirk on his face, the pastor, when he talks to Nancy, that he finds delight in her. Not that he thinks of her as like a nitwit, right? But there's just something about her that he likes. And I don't know, almost it's like her innocence. And he has this cute little like look on his face when he looks at her. So I don't know if it's just because the two actors are having a good time, or if that's what the director wants for Matthew to do for that character. Rona. This was a surprise to me, but a sad surprise when Frank Jr. said that you want to know the reason why I had a vasectomy. And he says, because he didn't want a little version of me running around. And he's like, Frankie, she was easy to love. Did you hear that? Easy to love. He didn't feel like he was easy to love. And the mother, Nancy's like, but I remember you would share your lunch with kittens and sleep in the crook of my neck. That's not how you always were. And that makes me think that Not yet, but there is the possibility that, eventually, as time goes on, we can see a redemption for Frank. But it looks like he's in a hot water at the end, right? Because the girls are going to open up their franchise. They get the mayor to lift up the moratorium on them. And as they're getting all excited, who's down the street opening up his own franchise with the chicken man is Dumb Frank Jr. I feel like that chicken man's going to take all his cash. Yes, Ava. He did. He wanted to keep her away from everybody, just like the father did, and the grandfather did, or great grandfather. I forget how far back that goes. Sherman and then Frank. The two of them wanted their wives to think that they had affairs. And though I knew that they would forgive them, and I was wondering if that's the thing that they could count on the most that would hurt their wives with their friendships so that they wouldn't have to compete their time with that person. That's like pretty wicked, like wicked men, and kind of clever for a storyline that you would create such a wicked type of, I don't know, little man. That's what they were, little men. Amanda had never done anything for herself. She was married at 18. Yes. And she is going to do something for herself. She really cares about Sergio, but she wants to find herself. And I like that. I really like that. And I have a question for you. At the very end, you see Sergio going to his place. Close your eyes if you get dizzy. And he gets a text and he's fixing up his, land with the backhoe and all of that. And it's whoever it is, it's do not answer. And it says, I think I made a mistake. I miss you. And when this is happening, Amanda is in New York City. And I'm thinking, that's not Amanda who sent that, even though it's kind of vague. I think it's his ex-wife, or was he married? Yes, he got a divorce. His ex-wife. And what about her coming back into the picture? That's just another complication for that relationship. Like, let's say Amanda is finding herself and she's like, I really want to have a relationship, but now she's got some competition if the wife comes back, right? Yes, I don't trust the chicken man. That Frank Jr. wants to be like him. So sad. I know. And I think that the money's going to go bye-bye. I think, that $100,000 that he's invested in this franchise is going to like slap him in the face. In the meantime, they're building something beautiful as a family. I love them all sitting around the table. That song was gorgeous. What's the song? There's a part that says, I wanted a house with a crowded table, and you see them all sitting around eating. Then you see them hanging out at the inn, and everyone's like getting to know each other. I liked it because they're all becoming like a family, which was really nice. I love the expressions. Dumb as a barrel. Oh, wait. I got my expressions, Avis. You're always ahead of me. I'm not ready for the expressions because then if I don't follow my train of thought, I watched my last one. I jump all over and I miss things, but I'm getting to those. I know they were cute. So, I told you about my surprises, things that got confirmed. There were a lot of funny sayings and a lot of just one-liners in general that I thought were good, whether they would be heartfelt or not. I liked when Nancy, she's usually the one that has some really cool things to say. And I liked when Nancy was talking to Frank Jr. and he says, you left me, when he shares his heart with her and talks about, and Amanda was easy to love. What about the vasectomy? And I'm not Amanda, I'm sorry, Frankie. And he says, but you left me, Mama. And she goes, because you need to grow up. And she goes, and I can't grow you up. And I can't grow you up for you. Grow you up. And then another thing, like you said, Avis, dumb as a barrel of hair. And that's kind of like what she says about when she thought Gus was having an affair. Happiness is giving birth to the size of a dumpling. Oh my God. There were some other funny sayings. I loved when Jay, this one killed me, when Jay is massaging May's back and she's like, and he's like, Gus is going to be okay. I've only known her for a short time, but she's a strong woman. And she goes, oh, she's strong. She wants Lance to boil. She wants Lance to boil with a pocket knife. And he's like, yeah, let's keep some things about your family a mystery. And I was like, I love it. You got seriousness peppered with the crazy one-liners. The writing is so good. We have to like meet the writers and talk with them. They're funny. They do a really good job. What dumb as a barrel of hair. I got that one. What was the other one? Oh, when and I loved her expression when Sabrina was saying, we can't do this, it's not fair. So her big executive producer is there, and or the owner of the show, whatever he is, and he pulls her to the side and he's like, look, I've been here. I've been doing this a long time. And she's like, yeah. He goes, I mean, I've been here so long, even it's from when I had my first wife. And she's like, yeah. And I'm thinking the way they delivered that line, like he must have a million wives. And she just takes it in stride. And she's like, yeah. They're just, I don't know. There was just a lot of good stuff. And my favorite is, I'm making sure I get it right, is when Amanda turns and says to Frank Jr., and this is when she decides that she's on the wrong team. She says, when I came back, not for you. Turns around and says to Nancy, I came back for you because I have loved being your daughter. I have to say that I did shed a tear or two each time I watched that, right? I don't know. I just love it. And Jay does love Marinick. He does. He found it relaxing, and he loved the big pastry that was there, and just the whole, he can still do his merger and acquisitions a little bit if he wants, and just the whole getting to know her and having family dinner. I have to tell you something. Were you all like dying for some chicken? I made this big note. Mr. Chicken bites into that one piece of chicken, and he actually had grease on his lips, whether that was, for that they put something on it, if it was real. And then the second one too, I was like, oh my God, that chicken looks so good. I mean, that was good TV. It made me hungry. What do you think about the surprise when they were looking at the photos, Jay and May, and he said, who is this? And it's, Gus when she's young. And she says, Farmer Jarvis. And she gets this look. Is that her father then? Like, do the girls not know their father? Do they have the same father? I don't know. Yes, she does. And he was so matter of fact about it. So I feel like Sabrina will be coming back for some reason too. What, I don't know, but I don't think that she's done with Marinick either. Nope. Love the new name. That was fun. I love how like now it's the sisters, like they're all getting together. And I like the decision of Amanda on her own, but now there might be that whole surprise. Again, anybody here, what do you think about that text? Here it is again. Who do you think sent that text? I don't think it was Amanda sending that to Sergio. I think it was his ex-wife. What do you think? I thought she said Grandma Jarvis. No, I went back and look. At first I thought she said Pastor Jarvis. Then I went back and it said Farmer Jarvis. The woman with the black hair is Gus, because we saw her, I think it was episode 6, with a big belly walking around. And it was that actress. Definitely Sergio's ex. Okay, Rona. So now we're going to throw that in the mix. Yeah. So do you, Avis? Okay. Me too. And so that kind of like summed up the whole, good, Carrie's saying it too, the whole thing. Carrie, I loved your chicken. You know what I did? Just as a thought, good. Carrie drew a chicken or painted a chicken. And I said, I want you to put it on. I started a new page, like we need a new Hallmark page, but I got tired of some of those Hallmark pages. They were allowing things on there that were terrible. They would say, "Oh, why is this actress's face look different? They did it to two different actresses." Well, I don't know. Maybe they're getting older, but who cares? Like, why are you tearing down a person? Then everybody's weighing in. And I felt like saying, I want you to take a picture of yourself when you were like 30 and however old you are, like maybe you're 50 now, and go look at yourself. Did your face change? Like why do we have to do that? So I was like, I'm starting my own Hallmark page. So if you want to join, go right ahead, and we could dump everything. Hallmark Plus, all the series that are on there, Hallmark Channel, whatever we want, we can Hallmark it up there. Anyway, I made Carrie put her picture on there because I liked it. And I want to entice people to watch the Chicken Sisters because it's good. I have been in touch with Matthew, Pastor McGregor, and I wanted him to chat with us tonight. He was busy, but he's going to because he's got some Christmas movies and we have some stuff to talk about with Chicken Sisters, and it'll be a fun chat. And when it is, I don't know. I have no idea. I do know tomorrow we have a chat for the way home. If you're into that, it's our last, because Kathy is back, and it's about the last relationship that we're going to dive into, which is like a minefield, and that is a landfield. No, minefield. Yeah, I said it right. It's about Kat and Elliot, and of course Thomas. I think Mr. Chicken's Cluckery is kind of a silly name. It makes me think they have live chickens and sell eggs. Oh, of course they have to give it a buffoon type of a name because the man's a buffoon. He's weird, and he's just going to feed into, he's narcissistic, and he needs to be fed. Like, people think he's the greatest, and Frank Jr. is looking for somebody to, like, take him under his wing and who he can make proud. And they connected to buffoons, which I think is sad. But anyway, let's see. Predictions for season 2. We're going to find out who the ex is, or who the father is of Minnie's baby. And you agree, Avis? Okay. And thank you, Avis, my BFF for tonight. And I also think we're going to see who, like, the ex-wife is going to, Sergio's ex-wife is going to come to town. And I also think we'll see a little bit more romance with Nancy and the pastor. Let me just tell you, all those ladies that have the hots for him are going to be so very jealous. And Amanda in the book goes to art school, and I wouldn't be surprised if Amanda goes back to school or does something with her art besides what she's doing with the business. And that's a wrap. That is a wrap for the Chicken Sisters. It's really good. I hope that more people can watch it because I think they'll really enjoy it. Nobody overacted. The storyline kept me on my toes. Each episode was my favorite. I have to say episode 7 was my favorite. Does anybody here have a favorite? I think Shauna has a bigger role. Yes, Avis, excellent idea. I do too. I think her role will come out. Yep, I agree. I think something might happen with like a little Easter egg is when they have that beautiful, like, puffy croissant type of pastry at the inn, and Jay grabs it and bites it, and it shocks him, and he turns around. I know it was all part of him saying, I don't have to go anywhere. I got everything I want right here. But the way, the innkeeper's Kenneth looks at him and they have an exchange, I'm thinking that, he's going to be helping the town, I don't know, build up their business kind of thing. Although they don't want to take away the sweetness of it, I feel like he's going to have a bigger part and stuff. And that's it. Oh, girls, and I don't think any boys are here, but the girls are all hanging out. The Chicken Sisters. This has been a fun ride. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to season 2. I do know that the script is written, what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. I have no idea, but I can't wait for it to come out. I did have a quick chat with KJ, who is the writer of the book, and she said that she loved what they did with the series. She was extremely pleased, which is a great compliment because, the book always is better than the movie, or a series. But in this case, they did a good job. Yeah. We need to find out the father. Yes, we do. We do. There's some mysteries. There's absolutely some mysteries that need to be solved. I also think we're going to see a bit of a romance between Lindsay and Frankie. And I'm wondering how the town will be okay, if they'll be okay with that. And especially the mom. I think her mother will be fine with it, but I can't imagine how the father's going to behave because he is a bit narrow-minded. I don't know. More episodes. What rounds it up to like 10? 8 seems to be like this new thing. I don't know why, but it seems like to be a new thing, especially with Netflix. All right, friends. So tomorrow is not the way home. It's Tuesday. Kathy and I are doing our last deep dive into relationships because that was going to be on soon. Tomorrow is my recap of my review of the Nutcracker, Operation Nutcracker. I loved it. And I don't know if any of you saw it, but visually it's like a feast for your eyes. And I wasn't surprised because the executive producer I've had on before and everything that he does, the cinematography is always beautiful. He was part of the team that did the Biltmore Christmas, but he did Easter Island or Christmas Island rather. And what was the other one last year? I think it was the one that was up where he lived up in Connecticut area about the aquarium. And that was another Christmas one. It was funny because all the Christmas movies that Kathy and I picked, not all, but most of them were produced by the same company. We didn't even realize it. I guess we just liked, their style. All right, friends, you have a good night. And if I don't see you, have a happy Halloween if you celebrate it, or an All Souls Day. And you did like it? Good, Avis. I did. But Holidays Cry is still your favorite? I saw it when it streamed on Hallmark Plus. Me too, Rona, and I loved it. And I was like, "Oh, I'm keeping it because I want to watch." I didn't watch all of it yet, but I think I'm going to like Christmas Charade also. And Grandpa Hunky, Jefferson, is it Jefferson Brown? He had a really fun part in the beginning, so he's from The Way Home. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with me on Sunday nights.